Well, we had a really windy night last night, and as a result, I am convinced I'm probably going to have problems speaking throughout this. So we'll see how it goes. I did have three hands picked out that I really liked. Fans of the beard and how long it's getting, and will it actually ever cover my mouth? It won't. It was going to get shaved before today, but like I said, up most of the night with 60-mile-an-hour gusts off the lake, so it was pretty exciting. Let's go to board four. This was a missed opportunity. One pair got to, everybody gets the game, obviously, on board number four in spades, north-south. One pair got to the six-spade game, which has some kind of fun play. So we'll do this, and I think this should be in slam. This is one where I would be, if I were sitting at this table, I would be expecting enough people to be in slam that I would want to get there. But here I have this 5-5-3 with a missing heart suit. Concentration of honors here. The honors in diamonds and clubs are interesting. I call them, it's easy to write them off or devaluate them, but I always imagine in my head, I'm not asking my partner to have like a ton of points. Like, just give me the king of clubs, or just give me the jack of clubs, or give me the queen of diamonds, right? And ace of diamonds. Suddenly it gets very interesting with just another. So I don't like to write them off completely, but in evaluating your hand, I could see where you'd say, this suit is kind of holy, but. So anyways, I start with a spade, and my intention is to force the game. I've got 18 points, and I've got a second 5-card suit, and my intention to jump shift into clubs. So I start with a spade. This is a forcing one no trump. Those of you who play 2/1 know that we're talking about either a minimum hand that can just barely bid up to an invitational hand, and then I jump to 3 clubs. Now, when my partner bids 3 spades, he's not just taking a preference. Okay, he's not just taking a preference. I think that he's probably got 3 spades, and so I feel like we have our suit, and it's time to. I mean, if he's weak, he's just going to jump to 4 spades. He's not going to fool around. So I'm thinking what I should do here is probably go ahead and start Q-bidding. Right, just showing them controls, and I can do that and I'm going to bid with a robot, so we're only going to show first round controls. So I probably would show a club. It's really important for me to see some top controls here, since bidding RKC is going to be difficult with my void. So I start with 4 clubs. This promises a first round control. Even if we were just bidding first or second round controls, we would see this probably as an ace. So I'm thinking, okay, we're in the position here where I can think about bidding 6 spades, and I just seems very likely that if my partner has something more, even just a constructive hand, 8, 9, 10 points, so long as those aren't in hearts, we're good. And if they are in hearts, then it'd be nice to see controls there, a trick in hearts, in other words. He's got the ace of diamonds. That's 4 of his 8 or 9 points. Queen of spades, and this hand looks pretty good. Jack of clubs, as I said, be rather king or jack of clubs. Some fit there would be nice. I just think this is a hand everybody's going to be in 6 spades, or a good portion of the people will be in spades. So I bid it. And as I said, the play is interesting. So they start with a diamond, and we can see our partner has not quite what we expected. He does have the 3 spades. He does have the 9 points, but he turns up with a 6-card suit. Now, if you're one of my students, you know that I tell you that when the dummy comes down and you have a 5-card suit in the dummy, that's where you begin thinking that in the course of planning the play, you have to consider, can I set this suit up? Here, the partner lays down a 6-card diamond suit. I have 3 to go with him. 6 diamonds is looking like a cold contract, and hopefully this one is as well. We get the diamond lead, which is high, so, and we're missing the 2, the 7, the queen. Right? He's not leading 9 from the queen of diamonds, so the queen will be in west, but it looks very much like this could be a doubleton, and it could be a 6-3-2-2 fit. Certainly we let it run around 2, and there's the queen. And now the diamond is established, right? We have the top 3 tricks. So the diamond suit is established. We have 1 trick right now. We have 5 diamond tricks. That's 6. We need to find 6 more, right? So we don't really want to. One thought might be to start roughing the clubs, but I'm having a different thought, which is I'm wondering what happens if I just play out the ace and king of spades. There's a chance the queen drops, doubleton, and the jack might clean up the suit, right? But I'm thinking that if that happens, there's a really good chance that it's going to be a very difficult lead for East-West when they take their. I'm sorry if it doesn't. I told you I'd have problems talking. If the queen is still out there after leading the ace-king, right, then whoever gets in is going to have a difficult time leading. If it's East that's holding the queen of spades, their leads will be almost impossible. If they lead a heart, someone, in fact, it seems to me very likely that on this end that if I'm sitting in the defense and I'm thinking I got queen third and the ace of hearts, then I win the queen of spades and I lead the ace of hearts. And even if I have queen third, I'm going to think, okay, best chance here is with the ace of hearts to find my partner with the ace of hearts. So this is my plan. There might be other ways to make this, but all I'm looking for is a decent break and maybe a great break if the queen drops. There's the 10. Queen does not drop, but I would love to see East with the queen, right? But even if West has the queen, let's say I just lead, West has the queen, what do they do after taking the queen? Probably lead a club, cash the ace of hearts. I have 2 entries to the diamonds, so I could go back up there and lead the king of hearts. So I think that this is just as good as anything else. There's the queen in East, which is perfect. He has nothing. He can't lead anything, right? He can lead into the clubs, he can cash the ace of hearts, or he can lead into the diamonds. Either way, I'm making the rest of the tricks. So he starts with the ace of hearts, which makes my life extremely easy, right? We have king, queen are good, the ace of clubs is good, and all the diamonds are set up. So this is a pretty straightforward slam. As we progress as bridge players, we start evaluating our hands different. Instead of simply counting points, we start looking at how the hand will actually play. In other words, we start bidding based on playing. It's like you start seeing these things that will help. A shortage, right? We count points objectively in theory through point counting systems, right? If you find a fit, you can add a point for shortness, a point for length, all these things. But as we progress as bridge players, we eventually get back to counting 4, 3, 2, 1, right? And if we see a 9-point hand or a 10-point hand, we start making judgments on, well, is this just your average vanilla run-of-the-mill 10-point hand, or are there special things about it? Right? Is there something that makes this better than that? Or, importantly, especially in board 6, is there something about it that makes it less appealing? Now, on this hand, we had 4 of our 7 tables in game, and it's because of an overvaluation of North's hand. So what do we actually have here? And our partner opens up a spade, right? We have 10 points. Now, these 10 points aren't concentrated at all. We don't have 2 honors in a suit. Remember, in board 4, we had king jacks, we had ace queens, right? Even though they're not connected, they're still, right? We had the ace queen 10. Basically, we're looking for one to fill in the hole, or that king jack in the diamond suit where, if you give us the ace and suddenly we have a fabulous hand, right? We don't really have that here, right? We have a big gap between the ace and jack in North's hand. We have the king of hearts standing on its own. I like the 4-card spade suit, of course. It's a 9-card trump suit. And also, if you're going to have a queen, you want to have it in the trump suit as opposed to a side suit. So that's all good. But other than that, we're totally flat. So when I look at this hand, what I think is I have a 10-point hand, and I want to kind of give it a name. Do I think it is an invitational 10? Or do I think that it is a constructive 10? Now, what's a constructive bid? A constructive bid is one where if your partner is invitational, they have a very good shot at game. So if I have 8 or 9 points, right, and partner has 17, 18 points, we should be in game. Otherwise, if my partner is simply a minimum opener, right, 12, 14, 15, right, the constructive bid says we're probably good at 2 or 3, right? Now, what we can do with more advanced bidding concepts is we can make a special bid for having a 4-card constructive hand. just like we have a special bid, a 4-card limit raise, for having a invitational hand. Now the robot evaluates this as a limit raise, as many of you did, but I saw one pair at least recognize that this is not. And they fortunately had a bid that shows a 4-card constructive raise. They used that, stopped in 3 spades, and did well for themselves because it does not make game. And why doesn't it make game? Our honors are spread across the hand. It's very, very flat. Sure, we have 9 trump, but exactly what are we trumping? We have no shortages. We're trumping the 4th round of one of the side suits, right? So that's not all that exciting anymore. Having an extra trump is not that exciting if you don't have shortage to go with it. So if you think in terms of how will it play, boy, we have a 9-card trump suit, what you're seeing are a lot of trump, but a lot of other losers in your hand that, unless your partner has shortages, right, are not going to do any good. Now, if your partner has shortages, has an opening hand, here's your constructive, then there's a way to work your way to game. Now, the robot does not have a way to make a 4-card constructive bid, and that's how I evaluate this hand. When I'm thinking, is this a constructive hand, 8 to a bad 10, or is it an invitational hand, a good 10, 11, 12 points, right? I'm thinking this is a constructive hand. So I bid 2 spades. And as we saw in across the board, nobody's making 4 spades. That if you can get a handle on evaluating North's hand, the play becomes very easy. And here the robot will probably, I think you can get 3 spades. And that's where they'll get. They do have some shortage, but they had, what, 5, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13 points. All right? They don't want to hear an invitational bid from you with 13 points, because when they're stiff, they're going to go to game with that stiff Queen of Hearts. If I have a stiff partner in fights after an opening hand, I have a very difficult time not going to game. So I've been trying to find more hands in which we can discuss defense. Defense is the hardest aspect of bridge. We have to start somewhere. Unfortunately, when we start teaching defense to beginners, we teach a lot of nursery rhymes, right? And defense is really about understanding the play of the cards. Okay? So understanding the play of the cards. It's a lot of work. One of my favorite writers, he actually has, it's a well-used book, right? Count them, 8 questions that you have to ask yourself before you start the defensive plan. 8 questions, right? And how many questions do you ask yourself before you start defending a hand? I'm pretty darn sure it's not 8. But let's see if we can begin to form an idea of how to defend. And knowing how to defend is the keystone to defending well, right? Having some sort of strategy, having some sort of understanding how you're going to take your tricks, how the declarer is going to take their tricks, and coming up with some way to either take yours and do well and set them, or to prevent them from taking their tricks. Right? And there are a number of things, and I would say there's good 7 or 8 strategies that are worth thinking about in just about every bridge hand. The possibility exists that one of these strategies is the winning strategy. So, 3 minutes into the video, still haven't done anything. Signaling, right, and second hand low, and third hand high, and cover an honor with an honor, right? These are the nursery rhymes we teach beginners, which are generally right, but almost always will fail you in a critical situation if you're not paying attention to actually how to defend. So, signaling, what good is a signal if you don't know what you're doing, right? But we teach signals. What we should be teaching is play of the hand, where you can't see your partner's hand. All right, anyways, enough lecturing and ranting, enough preamble, enough introduction. What do I do? What is a good way to start to build these strengths up? Here, partner opens a spade. The declarer opens 1 spade, and I am immediately defending. My defense starts on the opening bid, right? Because I now have the beginning of a picture of the hand. He has 5 spades or more. He has 13 points, 13 points. I look at this bid and I think, okay, forcing 1, no trump. He has a hand where he had to make a bid, up to a hand where he's invitational. He probably doesn't have 3 or 4 spades and a 7 to 9 point hand, because he would just bid the spades here. West bids hearts. I'm voiding hearts. That's interesting to me. I don't double or anything. I want to get more. So we have a 2 suited hand, right? 5-4 or 5-5 or 5-4. We could say 5-4 or better. Right? We pass. This bid is not an invitational bid. The problem is that the 1 spade 2 hearts is a wide-ranging bid. West could have 17, 18 points, but did not have the ability to make a game-forcing jump shift. So with as few as 8 points here, West is going to need to make a bid. But he will have 4 hearts. So I know that there's 4-4 there, and there's a chance that my partner has 5 hearts. So already I'm thinking, this is great. They're in 4 hearts, and my partner could have 5 hearts. Right? I know that West is short in the minors. Right? He's got to be. Right? So I'm already picturing what's going on in this hand. Now, they stop there, right? And if I'm thinking points, I'll know a lot more when I see East hand, but I'm thinking that my partner probably has some points here. Not a lot of points, right? But I got 10, and if West didn't have enough to go for slam, maybe he's got 14, that's 24, and if East has 8 or 9, my partner could have, anywhere from 4 to 7 points. So I'm thinking he could have a trick over there. Right? So I'm trying to picture where are our tricks, and right away I'm thinking my partner could have a trick. Myself, I would like West to have, I know he's short in the minors, I would like him to have a club or 2, right? I know he has spades. I know the spades are 5-5, and these people only have 3 spades among them. So I'm thinking I got the ace of spades, the ace of clubs. Can I get my partner a ruff in spades? After all, he has maybe 5 hearts, right? Maybe 5 hearts. What suit do I lead? I think that my hands are almost tied here, right? I don't want to underlead these aces right away. So I'm going to lead a diamond, and I will be either, if you're leading third and fifth, or third and low, you lead the ace. If you're leading fourth, then you lead the 6. Right? This is not promise and honor. This is just our normal way of opening. Okay, so I like third and fifth. So I'm going to start with the 8 of diamonds. Partner wins the king, which is underneath the ace. And there is a ruff, all right? Sweet. Now let's take a look at that. What does that mean in terms of distribution? What does that mean in terms of distribution? Right? If he was 5 spades, 4 hearts, that means he has 4 clubs. If he was 5 spades, 5 hearts, that means he has 3 clubs. Right? Now, if he has the king of clubs, that means that I'm only going to have 1 trick in clubs, but I am going to get a club trick. He has clubs. My partner has 1 spade, right? If 5, 5, 2, 1, right? And if this guy has even more spades, then my partner actually is voiding spades. So now I know how this hand is going to go down. And I'm serious. I know that we're going to beat this contract, or at least in a rosy glasses way, I'm saying this hand can be beat now. I get the ace of spades for sure, right? No way I don't get the ace of spades. I get the ace of clubs because he must have clubs. That's 2. I get a ruff in spades. Right? If I get in, I'm going to be able to give my partner a ruff, and that's 3. I'm looking for one more trick. And I believe we got it. I believe my partner has some points. So I think he probably has heart honors, right? Now, the key here is to recognize that there's a couple of ways that you can get 2 ruffs. One is, not 2 ruffs, but 2 trump tricks. Obviously, we're going to get 1 trump trick when I get in and give my partner a spade ruff. The second thing to think about is we're seeing the 10 here. We don't see the jack, right? So let's say I give my partner the first ruff. He leads to my ace of clubs. I could still lead another spade, right? Because if he has the jack of hearts, then East needs to go up with the queen to prevent being over-ruffed. And if he does that, then the jack of hearts has just grown up, right? And that's called a trump promotion, right? So there's every reason in the world to try for a second trump trick. We're sitting here at trick 2, and I know exactly what I want to accomplish with this hand. On my first discard, I should give a signal. Right? I will say you can lead the club safely. Now West sees doom and gloom, right? He just saw the bad split, which I don't know yet. It turns out to be 5-5 in the majors, right? Which we considered possible when we saw the void in diamonds, which would leave my partner 4. Right? He won with the 10. My partner, if he has something higher than the queen, is probably trying to cover it, right? Because it seems like he might take the jack otherwise there. I win my ace of spades. We're executing the plan here, right? It's very deliberate, very conscious. There's the 8 of hearts that he wins with. Leads me back that club, and here we are at this point where else can I find a trick? Well, West has at least 3 clubs, and if my partner has the king of clubs, I think we're getting it, right? He's not going to be there. There's no way that he's not getting it because he can ruff spades. So West can't like suddenly play the ace and king of spades and expect to toss away 2 clubs in his hand. He needs those clubs. So I'm not worried about the king of clubs. If my partner has the jack of diamonds, it's not taking any tricks, right? So I'm still thinking that if my partner has a high honor, it's in hearts. And so there is absolutely no reason not to lead a spade. Either he's going to be able to overruff the queen, or it's going to grow up a jack, like for instance the jack of hearts. So I start with this. It goes up with the queen, so maybe I got a promotion. Cool. But actually, as it turns out, my partner has the top card, and that's where his points were. So there was actually a third possibility by leading another spade. 1, that we can overruff the queen. 2, that we promote something like the jack of hearts. Or 3, well, I didn't need to do anything. It was the ace of trump, right? But there we are, and now we've set them 1. So this is what defense is all about, and what I would like to kind of get to at least once a week in our reviews is the idea that defense should involve a conscious plan, right? It's not about flipping cards. We've got to do more work than that. It's got to be more than just following those nursery rhymes that you learned as beginners. It has to be thinking about how to take tricks, how to prevent the declarer from taking tricks, and acting consciously and deliberately in the play of the cards.